What if the answers to life's greatest mysteries have been hiding in plain sight, veiled by tradition and overlooked by modern interpretation? Biblical numerology is more than just numbers. It's a cosmic language, a code embedded in Scripture that unlocks profound spiritual truths. But here's the catch. These teachings have often been dismissed or obscured, leaving many unaware of the transformative power they hold. What if the numbers you see in the Bible are actually divine blueprints for your awakening? Think about it. Numbers like 3, 7, and 12 appear repeatedly in Scripture, not as random details, but as sacred symbols pointing to higher truths. From the 7 days of creation to Christ's resurrection on the third day, these numbers aren't just historical, they're deeply spiritual, acting as guides for self-discovery, manifestation, and spiritual growth. Yet much of this wisdom has been hidden, lost in translation, or deliberately ignored. Why? Because understanding these secrets gives you direct access to the divine, no intermediaries needed. But let's be honest, if you've ever felt that traditional teachings don't quite add up, you're not alone. This isn't about questioning faith, it's about digging deeper, uncovering the universe secrets that have been buried under centuries of dogma. Imagine knowing how numbers like 6 and 7 symbolize your journey from struggle to ascension, or how 12 reflects the perfect balance of cosmic order. These insights aren't just enlightening, they're life-changing. Curious? You should be. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how biblical numbers carry the keys to unlocking your divine power, aligning you with higher consciousness, and transforming your life in ways you never thought possible. Are you ready to decode the ancient secrets hidden in plain sight? Let's begin. Numbers as divine codes. Biblical numbers carry profound spiritual meanings, acting as symbols and guides to deeper truths. Numbers have always carried a certain mystique, but when it comes to biblical numerology, they transform into divine codes, unlocking layers of meaning that go far beyond the surface. These numbers aren't just mathematical figures, they are symbols, each carrying unique spiritual energy and guiding us toward a deeper understanding of the universe secrets. Think about it. How often do specific numbers recur in Scripture, not by chance, but by divine design? They are like cosmic breadcrumbs placed there to lead us on our awakening journey. Take, for instance, the number 40, which appears repeatedly in the Bible. Moses spent 40 days on Mount Sinai, the Israelites wandered for 40 years, and Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days. These aren't coincidences. They symbolize a period of testing, purification, and preparation for a greater purpose. Imagine if you approached your own struggles with this lens, seeing them as a divine process of spiritual growth rather than random challenges. Biblical numbers serve as spiritual signposts, pointing us toward universal truths that align with the law of attraction and manifestation. They teach us that life unfolds in patterns, and by understanding these patterns, we can align ourselves with cosmic energy. For example, the number 7 often represents divine completion or perfection, reminding us to trust the process even when the path isn't clear. It's a call to embrace mindfulness and live in harmony with the universal laws. But these codes aren't always obvious. They require reflection and self-discovery to decode their meaning. Have you ever noticed a particular number showing up repeatedly in your life? Maybe it's a number you see on clocks, receipts, or even in your dreams. This is no accident. It's the universe speaking to you, inviting you to explore the deeper layers of your higher consciousness. The significance of numbers in Scripture also serves as a bridge between spirituality and mysticism. In ancient times, numbers were seen as sacred tools for understanding the divine order of the cosmos. Today, this wisdom is often overlooked, but it's still accessible to those willing to look beyond the literal and into the symbolic. By studying these divine codes, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're stepping into a realm of enlightenment where the veil of mystery begins to lift. Practical steps to connect with these divine codes include journaling about recurring numbers in your life, or meditating on their meanings in Scripture. For instance, if the number 12 resonates with you, consider its biblical context, 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel, and how it reflects cosmic harmony and order. This practice doesn't just deepen your understanding, it strengthens your soul connection and aligns you with the flow of quantum energy. Numbers as divine codes also challenge us to think differently about our own lives. They remind us that we're part of a grander design, where every detail, down to the numbers themselves, holds meaning. This perspective can be transformative, shifting you from a state of randomness to one of intentionality and purpose. Imagine seeing your challenges not as obstacles, but as encoded messages guiding you toward your divine power. And just as you start to grasp the spiritual significance of these numbers, another question arises: what specific numbers hold the most profound meanings, and how can we apply their wisdom to our lives? That's where the journey deepens, leading us to explore key biblical numbers and their transformative symbolism. Key numbers and their meanings. When diving into biblical numerology, it's impossible to ignore the profound meanings behind specific numbers. These numbers don't just appear randomly. They are intentional markers, each infused with spiritual truths. Let's start with the number 1, the ultimate symbol of unity and oneness. It represents the source of all creation, the divine essence that flows through everything in existence. In Scripture, God is often referred to as the One, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all life and our role within this infinite tapestry. It's a call to embrace the cosmic energy that binds us together and trust in our divine connection to the source. Now consider the number 3, a number that resonates deeply with transformation and resurrection. Jesus rose on the 3rd day, and this number echoes throughout Scripture as a symbol of profound change and renewal. But what does this mean for you? It's an invitation to see your own moments of struggle as opportunities for rebirth. Think of those times when you felt stuck or defeated, only to emerge stronger, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's the power of 3 at work in your awakening journey. The number 7 often catches people's attention, and for good reason. Known as the number of divine intervention, it represents spiritual breakthroughs and heavenly touchpoints. Think of the 7 days of creation, or the 7 seals in Revelation. This number serves as a reminder to align yourself with the universal laws and trust in divine timing. When you feel like giving up, remember, 7 whispers that everything is unfolding as it should, even if the process feels slow. Patience here is the key to inner peace. 10 is another fascinating number, symbolizing earthly completion and the bridge to higher spiritual realms. In the Bible, the 10 Commandments provide a foundation for moral and spiritual living. In your own life, 10 might show up as a reminder to pause and reflect on what you've achieved before stepping into the next phase of growth. It's about honoring the cycles of life and understanding that every ending is also a new beginning. This perspective aligns with the law of attraction, where reflection and gratitude amplify your ability to manifest abundance. And then there's 12, the number of cosmic order and divine harmony. 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel. This number reflects the balance and structure of creation. It's a reminder that everything in the universe has its place and purpose, including you. If you've been feeling out of sync, meditating on the number 12 can help restore balance, grounding you in the rhythm of the cosmos and strengthening your soul connection. What's beautiful about these numbers is how they speak to our everyday lives. For instance, the next time you're faced with a difficult decision, try reflecting on the number that resonates most with your situation. If it's 3, focus on renewal and transformation. If it's 10, think about what phase you're completing. These numbers aren't just theoretical, they're practical tools for navigating life's challenges with grace and wisdom. When we see numbers like these repeatedly, on clocks, in scripture, or even in dreams, it's a signal that the universe is communicating with us. These moments are not coincidences. They're cosmic nudges, aligning us with our higher consciousness and inviting us to step deeper into our spiritual growth. Pay attention to these signs. They are guideposts on your journey. And as we marvel at the divine symmetry of these numbers, another layer of their power begins to unfold, the stories they illuminate in Scripture. What lessons can we learn from the miraculous events tied to these sacred numbers? Let's explore their transformative stories next. Transformative stories. Stories like turning water into wine and feeding the 5,000 highlight numbers as metaphors for spiritual truths. Biblical stories often use numbers not just as details, but as profound metaphors, revealing deeper spiritual truths. Take the story of Jesus turning water into wine at the wedding in Cana. It's not just about a miraculous transformation, it's about abundance, renewal, and the power of faith. The number 6 appears here as the water was drawn from 6 stone jars. In numerology, 6 represents materiality and human effort, and the miracle of wine signifies a leap from the earthly to the divine. a shift into higher consciousness. Another powerful example is the feeding of the 5,000, where 5 loaves and 2 fish fed a multitude. Together, the numbers 5 and 2 make 7, a symbol of divine intervention and completion. This miracle wasn't just about food, it was a demonstration of manifestation and the law of attraction in action. It teaches us that even when resources seem scarce, trust and faith in the infinite abundance of the universe can multiply what we have. How often do we limit ourselves by focusing on lack instead of possibilities? Think about the story of Noah's Ark and the number 40. The 40 days of rain were a period of cleansing and preparation, a spiritual reset for humanity. This number appears again when Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness, symbolizing purification and alignment with cosmic energy. Both stories remind us that transformation often requires a period of waiting and surrender, a step back, so the universe can work its magic. It's an invitation to practice mindfulness, to embrace the stillness before the breakthrough. The number 12 shines brightly in the story of Jacob's 12 sons, who became the 12 tribes of Israel, and in Jesus' 12 apostles. This number symbolizes cosmic order and the harmony of creation. These stories aren't just historical. They're reflections of the balance we're called to create in our own lives. Are you feeling scattered or out of sync? Perhaps meditating on the number 12 and its meaning can guide you back to alignment with the universal laws. Even smaller numbers carry weight. Think of the 3 days Jonah spent in the belly of the whale. This period wasn't just a punishment, it was a transformative journey, a time of reflection and renewal. The same can be said for Christ's 3 days in the tomb before resurrection. These stories remind us that periods of darkness and uncertainty often precede the most profound spiritual growth. The question is, how can you embrace your own 3 days instead of fearing them? Consider the multiplication of 7 in the Bible, 70 times 7, as Jesus spoke of forgiveness. It's not about keeping a tally, it's a call to infinite compassion and divine love. This teaching resonates deeply with the idea of soul connection, reminding us that forgiveness isn't just for others, it's a gift to ourselves, freeing us to move forward with clarity and grace. These stories also challenge us to see miracles not as isolated events, but as reflections of universal truths. The transformations, abundance, and harmony they illustrate are available to all of us when we align with the flow of quantum energy. Whether it's turning water into wine or feeding a crowd, these acts symbolize the power within us to co-create with the universe and manifest extraordinary outcomes. As we reflect on these transformative stories, we're left with a question. What deeper symbolism lies within the numbers themselves? How can the contrast between materiality and divinity, seen in numbers like 6 and 7, guide us on our spiritual journey? Let's unravel these symbolic contrasts in the next section. Symbolism in practice. Numbers such as 6, materiality, and 7, divinity, emphasize the transformation from earthly struggles to spiritual ascension. Numbers often act as bridges, linking the material and spiritual worlds. In biblical numerology, the number 6 represents materiality, our human struggles, efforts, and limitations. It's the number of work and toil, as seen in the 6 days of creation. But then comes 7, the number of divinity, symbolizing completion, spiritual perfection, and divine intervention. Together, these numbers tell a story, our journey from earthly struggle to spiritual ascension. It's a reminder that while we may be grounded in the material, we are always being called towards something higher. Consider the story of the Sabbath. For 6 days the world was created through labor, but on the 7th day there was rest, a sacred pause to acknowledge the divine. This pattern exists not just in Scripture, but in life itself. How often do we push ourselves endlessly, forgetting that true progress requires moments of stillness? The lesson here is to embrace balance, work hard, but also trust in the flow of cosmic energy to guide you. Incorporating regular rest like a mindful Sabbath can deepen your connection to the universal laws and recharge your spirit. The number 6 also appears in the story of the wedding at Cana, where 6 jars of water were transformed into wine. This represents the shift from human effort, the jars, to divine grace, the wine. It's a perfect example of how our earthly struggles can be elevated through faith and alignment with higher consciousness. How can you take your own 6 jars, your efforts, doubts, and challenges, and allow the divine to work through them? The answer often lies in surrender, a lesson many overlook in their quest for control. 7, on the other hand, is the number of divine intervention. Think about the walls of Jericho, which fell after 7 days of marching and 7 trumpet blasts. This wasn't just about persistence, it was about trusting in the divine process. When you feel like your own walls won't come down, ask yourself, are you trying to force them, or are you aligning with the flow of quantum energy? Sometimes the key isn't more effort, it's deeper trust. The interplay between 6 and 7 also teaches us about transformation. 6 is where we start, grounded in materiality, burdened by earthly struggles. But 7 is where we're headed, a state of spiritual ascension and completion. This shift requires both action and faith. Practical tools like meditation and mindfulness can help bridge the gap, quieting the noise of the material world so you can hear the whispers of the divine. In our daily lives, the numbers 6 and 7 appear as constant reminders. 6 might show up as the struggles we face, financial worries, relationship conflicts, or self-doubt. 7 appears as those moments of clarity when everything falls into place. The journey from one to the other is the essence of self-discovery and spiritual growth. It's not about escaping the material, but transforming it through a higher perspective. For example, if you're facing a challenge at work or in your personal life, reflect on how you might be stuck in the 6 phase. Are you relying solely on your own strength, or are you opening yourself to divine guidance? A simple exercise is to write down your problem and then meditate on what a 7 solution might look like, one that involves trust, harmony, and alignment with the law of attraction. And as we marvel at the symbolism of these numbers, a deeper question emerges. How can we use this knowledge to decode the patterns in our own lives? What other hidden truths lie within the numerical patterns of Scripture, waiting to be uncovered? Let's explore that further as we wrap up this journey. Now that you've uncovered the profound meanings behind biblical numerology, let me ask you, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let these divine codes remain an intellectual curiosity, or will you embrace their transformative power and apply them to your life? These numbers aren't just symbols, they're tools, keys to unlocking cosmic awakening and aligning with the flow of the universe. How might your life change if you fully embraced the truths hidden in plain sight? Imagine what it would feel like to decode the patterns in your own life, to see challenges not as obstacles, but as part of a divine plan, guiding you towards spiritual growth. Whether it's meditating on the meaning of the number 7 or reflecting on the balance represented by 12, these practices can deepen your soul connection and bring clarity to your path. What's stopping you from taking the first step? Transformation begins with intention. Maybe it's journaling about recurring numbers you've noticed or exploring their scriptural context. Maybe it's practicing mindfulness to tune into the subtle messages the universe is sending. The truth is, these ancient secrets have always been there, waiting for you to see them. The question is, will you take action and decode their meaning in your life? Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue uncovering the profound truths that can transform your reality. What number has been showing up for you lately? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could inspire someone else on their awakening journey. Let's grow together, one discovery at a time.